Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's public hearing virtually. We're glad to have everybody here. We've got a lot of folks signed up to speak tonight, and we're glad you're here, and we want to hear what everyone has to say. Before we begin, I want to call the roll for commissioners as we do in all of our virtual hearings. And commissioners, if you will answer. From District 1, Commissioner Butch Howard.
Here.
From District 2, Commissioner Florence Belser.
Present.
From District 4, Commissioner Tom Irvin.
Here.
From District 5, Commissioner Swain Whitfield.
Here.
And Commissioner Justin Williams from District 6 is serving in Iraq. And my name is Randy Randall. I represent the 3rd District. We'll now take appearances. Oh, Commissioner Hamilton, I left you out. Commissioner Hamilton, I've done that before, Commissioner Hamilton. I can only count to 6. So from the 7th District, Commissioner O'Neill Hamilton, and you are here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hamilton. Commissioner Belser keeps me on the straight and narrow here, and somebody has to sometimes. So we'll take appearances from the parties now. You cut that microphone on. Make sure the red light's on. Push the little button where it says push. Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I'm John Hafer. I'm with the law firm of Willoughby and Hafer here in Columbia, and we represent the applicant, Palmetto Utilities Incorporated, in this proceeding.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Hafer.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Roger Hall, Assistant Consumer Advocate with the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Hall.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Jeff Nelson for the Office of Regulatory Staff.
Welcome, Mr. Nelson. Okay, we're going to now call on our Public Service Commission Attorney, Jerisha Dukes, to give us some instructions, and we'll begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. Good evening. We would like to thank everyone for appearing at tonight's public hearing. My name is Jerisha Dukes, and I am a staff attorney with the Commission. This proceeding before the Public Service Commission in docket number 2019-281-S concerns the application of Palmetto Utilities Incorporated for a proposed increase in rates and charges, terms and conditions for sewer service provided to customers in its Richland and Kershaw County service areas. Before we begin, we have a few preliminary matters to go over. While we may be holding this hearing virtually, it is important that this public hearing is if we were in the hearing room or courtroom. The Commission is mandated by law to follow certain procedures. Only those persons who have signed up will be able to speak. The Commission won't hear from you unless you signed up to testify. If you are signed up to speak, you are testifying as a witness about facts known to you related to Palmetto Utilities Incorporated. You will be sworn in, telling everyone that what you are saying is the truth known to you. After you are called to speak, please give your name, the name of the street that you live on, and the town. You do not need to provide your house number. The transcript of this hearing will be published and placed in the record as required by law so that anyone can read it. If you will, please confirm that you are a customer of Palmetto Utilities Incorporated. Then you may proceed with whatever you want to tell the Commission through your testimony. Please speak clearly so that everyone can hear you, including the court reporter. After you're done speaking, please remain on the line for any clarifying questions that the parties or the commissioners might have for you. Everyone who has signed up to speak will be given the same time limit of 3 minutes. We have a timer, and there will be a buzzer to indicate the end of your 3 minutes. The Commission held the first public night hearing in this docket on March 19, 2020. Please note that if you provided testimony during that hearing, you cannot provide testimony a second time tonight. The day hearing in this case will begin at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, June 30th, 2020. This is when the commissioners will hear the position of the company, the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff, the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs, and Lisa Levine, pro se intervener, regarding Palmetto Utilities' proposed rate increase. The hearing is generally a hearing in which various technical people will testify. It will continue until all witnesses and final statements or motions have been presented by all of the parties. The hearing is to continue through Wednesday and possibly Thursday. The day hearing will be held virtually. Anyone can watch it through the Commission's website at www.psc.sc.gov. From there, you can click on the live stream tab. Last and importantly, I have mentioned that if you are signed up to speak, you are a witness testifying in this matter. I must let you know that the 6 commissioners before you are what's called a quasi-judicial body in South Carolina. This means they are judges in this rate case. They are subject to the rules of judicial conduct and the laws passed by our General Assembly. And just like if you are a witness called in a trial at the Richland County or Kershaw County Courthouse, or when you are serving as a juror, you cannot ask questions of the judge and expect him or her to answer. The same applies here. So regardless if a commissioner wants to answer a question or clarify any matter of law, the commissioner simply cannot answer questions. They are bound by the same judicial rules as a judge. This is your opportunity to be heard and to say what you want the Public Service Commission to know concerning the company's request for an adjustment in its rates. But please remember you can't ask questions of them because the commissioners are prohibited from answering those questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dukes. Now, I think before we begin with the testimony, I think we have Senator Mia McLeod on the line to make a statement. And Senator McLeod, welcome. And do we have Senator McLeod? I guess with the operator, so we don't have Senator McLeod yet?
No, sir. Senator McLeod has not joined uniquely yet.
Okay. How about County Council member Calvin Chip Jackson?
Hello.
Senator McLeod?
Yes.
Great. We're glad to have you with us, and we certainly want to give you the opportunity to make a statement.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And thanks to the Commission for giving me another opportunity to speak on behalf of the people of Senate District 22 concerning Palmetto Utilities' proposed rate increase. I really appreciate that, especially during this time, this unprecedented time in our state's history when we're dealing with record exposures and deaths and unemployment as a result of a global pandemic. Those who were already working multiple jobs and living paycheck to paycheck and pinching pennies to pay their rent and their mortgage payments and tuition and other bills, they're having an even harder time now as a result of the impact of this pandemic. And many of our seniors and our most vulnerable adults are on fixed incomes. That's the last thing that they need is another rate increase. Just 3 years ago, Palmetto Utilities petitioned the Public Service Commission for a significant rate increase and got it. These rate hikes are a direct hit to us, the ratepayers. Too often, they're multiple hits because we're forced to pay higher rates to multiple utilities. Roughly 26,000 South Carolinians have already been exposed to COVID-19, and about 660 people in our state have died so far as a result. As our numbers continue to surge and reach daily record highs, Richland and Kershaw counties that are serviced by Palmetto Utilities are among the hardest hit, with Richland County ranking among South Carolina's highest well, I'm not even sure if Richland County is highest anymore, but we are up there when it comes to COVID-19 exposures. Now we're competing with Greenville County and Horry County, but still, we've got record deaths and unemployment. And still, Palmetto Utilities continues to pursue yet another revenue boost. I think this one, I'm told, is $5.9 million, a nearly 30% increase for every household, trying to squeeze us for even more money under catastrophic conditions seems tone deaf, greedy, and self-serving. In fact, the utility could have voluntarily withdrawn its request or agreed to a 6-month extension. It chose not to do either. And I want to talk, I did before, I know I don't have a whole lot of time, but I just want the people to know that the law basically favors public utilities. It allows Public Service Commission regulated utilities to basically self-regulate. For instance, the PSC, if the PSC rules against the utility's proposed increase, the utility can appeal to the Supreme Court and temporarily impose the requested increase on ratepayers anyway. And if the Supreme Court later rules in the utility's favor, that temporary increase can easily become permanent. So if the utility gets a PSC ruling it doesn't like, why wouldn't it appeal? And I'm not going to go into what the law says because I did that, I think, on the last, when I testified at the last virtual hearing. But I do want to say that, you know, when a corporation already has a monopoly, as Palmetto Utilities does on sewer services, and continues to vigorously pursue yet another rate increase, with little regard for the people it purports to serve, I think my constituents and community members deserve transparency, accountability, and answers. So I'm going to be eager to hear some of the comments that are made and the testimony that's given tonight. We've been forced in this state to pay in the failed utilities for far too long. As lawmakers, we should focus on repairing the damage caused by decades of leadership and oversight failures. That includes and basically starts with amending the laws that govern utilities. And so I'm going to be a lot more focused on doing that when we do return to the regular session. But as I said, I'm looking forward to hearing from my constituents and community members tonight, and I want them to know that I will continue to fight on their behalf to make sure that we, as ratepayers, are not being taken advantage of in this difficult time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator McLeod, for being with us tonight. Okay, if I could get the operator to give us Richland County Councilman Calvin Chip Jackson to make a statement, and then after him, we'll move into the testimony.
Thank you.
Hello.
Councilman Jackson, the line is open.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Commissioner Randall and all the commissioners. I want to thank you very, very much for the opportunity to make a brief statement. I really want to believe that you, the Public Service Commission, want to do the right thing, and the right thing by those that are the tax-paying recipients and bill recipients of every utility operation that exists. I also believe that you want to see the faces and the families behind every request for a rate increase that comes in. And so when we think about the rate increase, there are families, there are faces, there are individuals who are connected to it, whose lives are directly impacted by it. In my case, mine is a personal one with my 86-year-old mother-in-law who lives 4 blocks from me, and for whom this amount of increase can make a difference between, not trying to be dramatic, but a factual statement, the difference between whether or not she purchases certain necessary items or she pays her bill. I don't want to have her to make that choice. It is real that those who are in District 9, Northeast Columbia, are directly impacted, and Kershaw County as well, are going to be directly impacted by the results of your decision, and for whom many, this becomes another crisis on top of the crisis that Senator McLeod has so eloquently laid out. And so I ask you to do one simple thing in my closing. I ask you to please consider just being still for now on this matter. Be still on this matter now until we as citizens can get from under the heavy clouds of oppression that have been so eloquently articulated on tonight. And then let us come back and revisit this when unemployment has gone down let's come back and revisit this when employment has gone up. Let's come back and revisit this when food lines at our pantries throughout our county have dissipated. And at that time, let's have a conversation where we are considering those who are most affected, the 86-year-old seniors and others, as a result of our action. Thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of all the residents and all of the my constituents in District 9. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. Okay, we appreciate you being here. Mr. Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one thing before we get started. Usually I ask that the sign-in sheet for these night hearings be entered into the record. I'm not sure exactly what format that's taking now, but I would ask, however that's done, if that be entered through this case, please.
Thank you. We will enter that as exhibit number 2, and we had that anticipated, so we'll have that, and Ms. Ellison has it. So exhibit number 2. Thank you. Okay, operator, we'll get our next caller, Ms. McFadden.
Ms. McFadden.
Okay, Ms. McFadden.
Ms. McFadden is open.
Great. And if Ms. McFadden, you're wanting to testify by video, so please cut your camera on.
Mr. Chairman, I don't see her in the call.
Okay, it says video calling unavailable.
Okay. Well, we will certainly be able to listen to you then. I need to swear you in. And so, Ms. McFadden, do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you will say your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin, and there will be a buzzer that will remind you when it's ended.
Okay, thank you. My name is Sabina McFadden. I live in Thornfield Court, Columbia. Zip code is 29229. And I just want to state that I live in my house by myself. I don't have any other family members. My water bill is only less than $30 every month. I'm already paying double for the sewer. That's not including the fees they add in there with it. So why do they have to increase the rate now in this difficult time? Do I have to get a third job just to pay my sewer bill, or to be able to pay my sewer bill? I mean, it's just ridiculous, the rate increase at this time of crisis in South Carolina. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. McFadden. Commissioners' questions. Ms. McFadden, thank you very much for your testimony. Okay.
You're welcome.
Operator, if you can get us Dr. Michael Fresina.
And I'm not seeing the doctor joined at this time.
And I don't see him in video either.
Okay. How about Mr. Ronnie G.?
Mr. G is not joined either, sir.
Okay. Willette Bates.
Miss Bates has not joined.
Charles Sims.
Charles Sims has not joined.
Helen Brooks.
Helen Brooks' line is open.
Ms.
Yes.
Brooks, are you there?
I'm here.
Great, thank you. Okay, Ms. Brooks, I'm going to swear you in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Ms. Brooks, if you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Helen Brooks. I live in Brookstone on Majestic Drive in the District 7. And I am a customer of Palmetto Utilities.
Great. Go ahead, Ms. Brooks.
Okay, I would like to voice my concerns against the 2062 increase, because I'm a household, as the customer just stated, I'm a household of one, and I don't feel like they should charge a household of one the same as they would charge a household of 10 people, because that is not unfair. Plus, Palmetto Utilities have already benefited from several subdivisions that are in my area. Orchard Park, just across the street, has a new development, and Aden down the street on our North Brickyard. And I feel like that these companies, construction companies, developing should absorb that cost of coming into the neighborhood. And also, senior citizens on fixed income, which I'm one, we should not have to choose between paying a mortgage, paying medicine, food, because we are on a once-a-month income, and we should not be put in this position, especially at this time, as been said, in this pandemic, when people are suffering more than ever. And on the last visit, Palmetto Utilities, they mentioned something about wanting to get information from the city of Columbia to merge, and that would be the best solution for all of us. And because we are citizens of South Carolina and Richland County, it will allow the city government to take over the sewer system as well, because, like I said, we are still taxpayers, and I feel like that we should not be separate and at the hands of someone that can cost us these enormous prices for sewer. And so I'm just urging the commissioner to please consider the senior citizens in this county, taxpayers of this county, and that would not allow Palmetto Utilities to go ahead with this rate increase. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Commissioners, any questions? Okay, Ms. Brooks, thank you very much for your testimony. Operator, if you will get us Tony A.J. Mack.
Tony Mack is not yet joined.
Okay, Tykeri Suber.
Tykeri Suber is not joined.
Belinda Robbins.
I'm here.
Great.
Yeah. Ms. Robbins' line is open.
Thank you, Ms. Robbins.
Okay,
Ms.
can
Robbins,
you hear me?
yes, ma'am, we sure can. Let me swear you in and we'll begin. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Ms. Robbins, if you will state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
My name is Belinda Robbins. I live in Winchester Subdivision on Alderston Way, and I'm in District 22 with Mia McLeod as my representative. And the reason that I wanted to say something is because I'm retired. I'm a retired federal employee, and the increase is going to be $14.52. Are you all going to give me an increase in my retirement pay to cover that? Because if you do, I would be happy about that. But other than that, I think it's ridiculous that they're going to do an increase at this time, especially we're in a pandemic. You have people that are unemployed. Have you seen the lines of people that are going to get food? Are you people crazy? Have you seen the line of people that's going to get food? And thank God that we have senior resources, for the seniors. And we have the schools that's giving the kids food. And I know my churches want to giving out free food too. But this is ridiculous. I really wish I didn't have to use Palmetto Utilities, but I guess I don't have a choice because I don't have another option, to go to another utility company, that has a reasonable rate. But I think $52.10 is ridiculous that we have to pay for sewage. And so, yes, I'm very, unhappy and disappointed about this, especially at this time when the unemployment rate is so high. Thank God I'm a retiree, but what about the people who are not, who can't even get their unemployment benefit? Now, I don't think this is right what you guys are doing, and I'm finished.
Thank you, Ms. Robbins. Commissioners, any questions? Ms. Robbins, we appreciate your testimony tonight. Operator, if you will get us Tanisha Holloman.
Tanisha Holloman is not yet joined.
How about Carolyn Sizemore?
Carolyn Sizemore is not joined.
Rosa Brooker.
Rosa Brooker has not joined.
Walter Taylor.
Mr. Taylor's line is open.
Mr. Taylor, are you there? Mr. Taylor? Hello, Mr. Taylor? Operator, we're not hearing Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Taylor's line is open. Perhaps his line is muted.
Mr. Taylor, if you are there in your line, if you can unmute us, mute yourself. Okay, we may need to come back. How about Mr. Let's see, Avon Chaplin?
Yep.
Avon Chaplin's line is open.
Yes.
Hello. Let's get you sworn in, and if you're testifying, you signed up to testify by video. So if you'll cut your camera on, and we'll be able to see you.
We weren't able to come on in the video.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Well, let me go ahead and get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So if you will state your name and your address, and then we will start your 3 minutes.
Avon Chaplin, 1032 Buttercup Circle, Blackwood, South Carolina. And my concern is, like most of them that have already spoken, is that we live in a household, my wife and myself, and we don't consume as much as others do. And we are wanting that if we could consider doing the putting on the sewer system is on the consumption type rate that we can fairly, I guess, assess what we're doing here. I don't think it's just for us to all be on the same equal when we are doing separate types of living. So that's my concern. If we can hold off on this and revamp it, that would be fine for me. Thank you.
Thank you. I think our next caller is Liza Chaplin. Is she with you now, or do we need to?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead, and then state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Liza Chaplin. My address is 1032 Buttercup Circle, Blythewood, South Carolina, 29016. And my concern was just like all others, as well as my husband, is that we feel like it's unfair to tax us the amount of $60-something increase what we feel like is already too much for us to pay. As one person stated, that if it's in a household of 10 paying the same thing a household of 2 is paying, we don't consume the same amount of water, so we feel like that's unfair, that we are overpaying, being overcharged for something that's not being used. So we feel like, even as somebody stated, because we were told even in the very beginning when we were paying the city of Columbia for sewer, they said it's according to the consumption of the water that's leaving the house. So that can't be true if this sewer company is trying to charge us the same amount that these other families that have more than 2 people in the household, and we're paying the same thing. That's just not fair. It's like you're robbing us of our money. You're taking from us what we are not using. So we're just testifying that we feel like this is cheating the consumers, that it's not fair to allow this company to tax us more than what we're using. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Chaplin. Questions? Commissioners, questions? Okay. Thank you so much, both chaplains, for your testimony tonight. Now, if the operator will get us Margie Scotty.
Miss Scotty's line is open.
Okay, Ms. Scotty,
Yes,
are you
Commissioner,
there?
I'm on the line.
Okay, great.
am.
Let's get you sworn in. And do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you will state your name and did you sign up to be on video? If you can cut your camera on?
I can't do that.
Okay.
I'm unable.
I got you. Thank you. Well, you state your name and address, and then we will go ahead and your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
I'm Margie Scotty. I live on Majestic Circle, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
Unfortunately, you're hardly a public commission since you are a rubber stamp for the sewage company. The meeting that was held in Northeast Columbia in January, all kinds of questions were fired at Mr. Duday, and we received almost nothing in return. He was unable to justify the rate increase and tried to slough off the questions by saying this was needed to pay for various improvements to the system. If the system was in such disrepair, why did they buy it in the first place? He also said that Palmetto utilities charges are low compared to other utilities in the area. That's not really correct. Of the 22 other utility companies in this state, all of them show rates lower than Palmetto, adjusting for flat or metered rates. I also want to mention that a few years ago we saw a 190% increase in our water treatment bill from $18 a month on my meter to a flat rate of $210. The PSC's comment for approving the rate increase was that the change to a flat rate for sewage would provide Palmetto Utilities with an additional revenue of over $4.5 million and a 15% operating margin. I remember at that time various citizens pleading for you not to allow a rate increase. A number of them, as Ms. McLeod has brought up, are older people that are on fixed incomes, and certainly the COVID crisis now plays a part in that. Also in January, there were frequent calls to have the sewage charge based on water consumption. Everyone at that meeting said their actual consumption was far below the 66,000 gallons the PSC and Palmetto Utilities claim. That's not really true, and especially for people who have a smaller household. We all heard of people and companies who have been hit with exorbitant bills when their consumption had not changed from the preceding month. The City of Columbia Water Company is challenged when they send out a bill like that and they can't explain why the increased billing. Having our sewage bill tied to such an incompetent system, there's no way to offer correct calculations of water consumption. Using the incorrect calculations that are in a sewage bill is even more ridiculous than the proposed rate increase. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scotty. Mr. Nelson, question.
Ms. Scotty, this is Jeff Nelson with the Office of Regulatory Staff. You talked about that meeting in January. Could you give me a little detail about how many people were there and how well it was attended by the customers?
I believe that meeting had to be broken up into two different meetings because there were so many people that were there. And it was at North Springs Park.
Did the public, were y'all given the opportunity to speak to, or was this just a presentation by the company to the customers?
No, the public was given an opportunity to speak.
And did a lot of people speak at that?
They did.
Generally, what type of comments do you believe that you or others gave at that?
At that time, presentations were given, people saying that the rate increase was going to cause a real financial hardship on them. Some people were able to come up with the dollar differences that the increase would have. generally the people were pretty irate about the whole thing.
That's all I have. Thank you, Ms. Scotty. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? Well, Mr. Hafer.
Good evening, Ms. Scotty. I'm John Hafer. I represent Palmetto Utilities. At that night hearing that you mentioned, or the town hall meeting that you attended, was anybody from the Office of Regulatory Staff present?
Was anyone present from, let me ask, was anyone present from the regulatory staff? One person was.
There was someone present from the Office of Regulatory Staff at that meeting?
Yes,
Did
yes,
you?
There was one person.
Did you go speak to that person after the meeting or during the meeting?
I don't believe so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions? Ms. Scotty, thank you for your testimony, and we're glad that you were here tonight. Okay, operator, will you give us Robin Clark?
Robin Clark has not yet joined.
Okay, Austin Thornton.
Good evening,
Austin
Commissioner.
Thornton's line's open.
Okay, Mr. Thornton, can you cut on your video camera if you want to appear?
Yes, sir. I believe it is. At least on my end.
Okay. Okay, we've got you. Okay.
Good evening. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. Mr. Thornton, let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. If you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Yes, my name is Austin Thornton. I'm the broker in charge for Companion Associates, and I'm representing our community companion at the Palms, located at 1155 Clemson Frontage Road. We're a 240-unit community there in Northeast Columbia. And I want to thank Senator McLeod and Councilman Jackson for their words. And most of what I have to say has already been covered. You know, there was a 57% increase in the summer of 2018. And now Palmetto Utilities is going back in after, you know, what would be another 43%-ish increase for a total of 101% over just 2 years. We've got 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units on our property, you know, and as been mentioned, with no difference in cost between a single person in a 1 unit and a family of 5 in a 3 bedroom. You know, I think that's really a tough swallow for those folks in smaller units that may be on a fixed income. And I think we're looking at having a disparate impact on the low-income individuals and the elderly on fixed incomes if we continue to increase the sewer rate at this point. I noticed that in the application that Palmetto Utilities filed, they said they would be willing, the language was willing to consider a phase-in of approved additional annual revenue. And they've now amended that to say it would be an increase over 3 years. But after the 57% increase in the summer of 2018, after their $80 million investment in 2017, has been mentioned at this point, you know, it's you're going after a lot of people that have been that are really under the gun right now, with unemployment being at all-time record highs, and you know, there's seems to be no rhyme or reason in how they're charging this. $66 across the board for every single-family home, regardless of size, is really going to place a hardship on many of the customers that the Public Service Commission is tasked with protecting and overseeing. So, you know, I would like to at least have this postponed until we can get back to a public hearing, to where the apartment industry can be more involved. We could get our residents more involved and have them show up in force to be heard. They're not even aware of this increase at this time. I think a lot of folks that across the Richland County area probably have no idea about this unless they're homeowners. Any renters that are paying bills this is flowing right over their head. So I think more public transparency is needed and more time, to get past the pandemic and give the economy some time to rebound. That's all I got. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thornton. Questions? Mr. Hafer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Thornton, does the Palms have an account with Palmetto Utilities?
Yes, sir.
And the residents at the apartment complex do not receive individual bills from Palmetto Utilities, do they?
No, they do not. They're sub-metered, so they do pay their water and sewer bill. They just pay it through us.
You sub-meter the sewer?
It's based on usage of the water.
So
yes,
you take the sewer bill that you receive from Palmetto.
I apologize. I am incorrect. We do charge the flat rate on the sewer to our residents of $52.10 right now, and then their water is based on actual usage. My apologies.
Thank you.
We pay a little over We pay almost $13,000 a month, regardless of our occupancy, because we pay on 240 units plus our house meters.
So your tenants pay a rental that does not include utilities, is that correct?
That's correct. They pay rental plus utilities.
Oh, they pay a rental plus utilities.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Commissioners, questions? Thank you, Mr. Thornton. Appreciate you being here for your testimony. Okay, operator, if you give us Paul Hensley.
Hello. Mr. Hensley's line is open.
Mr. Hensley, are you there?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Good. Let's get you sworn in. Mr. Hensley, do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you will please state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
My name is Paul Hensley. I live at Whitehurst Way, Columbia, 29229. I am a customer of Palmetto Utilities. I'm also the president of the Homeowner Association for the Whitehurst subdivision off of Clemson Road. We have 83 people that live in my subdivision. 70% of those people are on fixed incomes. So this is a pretty hot topic for my neighborhood. An example is my utility bill was $20 a month. This Service Commission approved an increase of over 100% to $52.10 fixed. My water bill now at my house is $33 a month. My sewer bill is $52.10 fixed. Before this increase, we paid for what we usage, and then it went, of course, to a fixed rate. In January at the North Springs Park, the representative for Palmetto Utilities had made a statement that the reason they went to a fixed amount was because that the water company would not provide them with our meter readings. The water company provided this information before to the prior company, so I don't really understand why it wouldn't provide it now. I'm paying more for water leaving my house than I am for the amount of water coming into my house. Now they want to increase the bill to $66.62. Also, this last meeting, the representative for Palmetto Utilities informed us that even if he did get this increase 100% improved through your commission, he would again request this commission to increase our bills within the next 3 years again. Plus, the fixed rate that was approved on the last one, of course you've been hearing, is not fair. I have 70% of my subdivision has 2 people or less in their home. The other homes, of course, have more than 2. But as you know, everybody is paying the same amount. That just is not fair. We feel that any increase is not fair at this time. We understand that companies have to make money, that companies have to do what they have to do for improvements and such things. But this company seems to not care about that. They seem to only care about their profit margins. At this time, you have a second chance to do something for the citizens of the county that you're supposed to represent against companies like this that do not care about the county residents, only their profit margins. Do not approve this rate increase of any type and rescind the fixed rate for billing. The last time you allowed this to happen, please make them charges for what we use. No one has a problem with paying for what they use. I do, and along with my other members of our subdivision, do have an issue with paying twice the amount for what we're not using. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hensley. Questions? Commissioners, questions? Thank you, Mr. Hensley. We appreciate you being here tonight. Operator, if you'll give us Renee Warfield.
Renee Warfield has not yet joined.
Alice Matthews.
Alice Matthews has not yet joined.
James Wesley Bryan.
James Wesley Bryan has not yet joined.
Stephen Sisson.
Mr. Sisson's line is open. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Sisson, are you
I'm
there?
here, yes.
Great. Let's get you sworn in.
I am.
Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God.
Thank you. If you will give your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
Sure. I'm a customer, Palmetto Utilities, Elmwood Boulevard in Elgin, South Carolina. I'd like to thank everyone for allowing me to talk today. We purchased our house over 15 years ago. Our sewer bill at the time was based on our water consumption. The bill was $26.49 a month. The sewer bill right at around $30 a month. Palmetto Utilities took a loan for $80 million plus to expand and update the technology. Not able to pay the loan fast enough, they sent us a letter requesting an increase for a short time to pay off this loan. We went from $30 to $52.10 a month, $265.20 per year. The increase to help pay for the loan Palmetto Utility could not pay as fast as they wanted. Now you're asking for another additional $10 or $11 a month. This is like a playground junior high school bully who steals our lunch money to support his own needs. We need Palmetto Utilities to fire the people responsible for taking a loan you can't pay on time and for stealing from us. We worked really hard for our money to have it stolen from us like this. The letter that was sent to me said, we can't pay the loan fast enough, so we need you to pay it. We need to increase your rates so that we can pay this loan faster. We do think that this is extreme. This is beyond what should be allowed by anyone just to take from us. So we're asking for you to deny this. And it really should be voted on reinstating the 22 or whatever it is that they increased the first time. But anyway, I thank you. That's my testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Sisson. Questions? Commissioners? Thank you, Mr. Sisson. Appreciate you being here. Okay, operator, if you'll give us El Mokhtar Anori.
Yes, I am.
Okay, will you sign up for video? Will you cut your camera on?
No, he say no camera found.
Okay. All right, let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is El Mokhtar Anori. My address 100 Elkhorn Lane, Columbia, South Carolina 29229. Main bill before is $24.99. and the increase is 100 something percent. Now we want increases again. I live in this house, just me, my wife. I'm retirement. I think it's too much for me. And then I got another bill for water. It's like $30.77 a month. And that's it.
Okay, does that complete your testimony, sir?
Fini?
Does that complete your testimony? Did you say yes? Okay.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions? Commissioners?
No question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. Operator, if you'll give us Sabrina Wright, please.
Sabrina Wright has not yet joined.
Kathy Fuller.
Kathy Fuller has not yet joined.
Deidre Mitchell.
Deidre Mitchell has not yet joined.
Margaret Walker.
Margaret Walker has not yet joined.
Alfreda Johnson.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Great. Ms. Johnson, welcome. Let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
Thank you. If you will state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Alfreda Johnson. I live at Copperfield Subdivision, 512 Rose Creek Lane, Columbia, South Carolina, 29229. My issue is the company Palmetto Utility, they increase their monthly bills. I understand they want to achieve their goal, but I have my goal too, to decrease my monthly bills. At this time, I'm hoping that we maintain those $52.10. We have a problem about paying bills, and all those stuff. And I'm living with my daughter. I have a personal issue about my husband abandoning me. But I'm trying to help my daughter to pay this amount. Plus, I have to, to buy food and all those to have to maintain, like car payment, insurance. But could you please understand about my situation at this time? And I really appreciate it to testify this evening. Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Johnson? Commissioners? Thank you very much,
No,
Ms.
sir, at
Johnson.
this time.
Operator, if you'll give us Valerie Warner, please.
Valerie Warner has not yet joined.
Judith Hart.
Judith Hart has not yet joined.
Lane Looper.
Lane Looper has not yet joined.
Janie Irvin.
Janie Irvin has not yet joined.
Angie Conyers.
Conyers' line is open.
Great. Ms. Conyers, are you there?
Yes, Angie Conyers, I'm here.
Great. If we're going to get you sworn in and then we'll begin, do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. If you will state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Angie Conyers. I live in the Indigo Springs subdivision in Northeast Columbia, 29229.
Great. Go right ahead.
Hi, thank you for hearing my testimony. I'm sorry that the amount of people that was there in January's meeting to represent the community's needs aren't here tonight. A lot of them, for whatever reason, didn't get to this conference. But my concern is not only the pandemic, it's that I'm just going to say, let's say the pandemic hadn't happened yet. We were in closure at the time that all the people came out for the January meeting. We were still irate about the fact that we cannot afford. I'm a single home owner, and I get Social Security disability. I am a disabled nurse. I cannot afford to pay $52.10 a month, let alone an increase in that rate. When the first rate, when the $52 increase came about, I don't know where I was, but I would have certainly protested that, as I am doing now. I feel like as a senior citizen on a fixed income, nobody is giving me a raise in my disability. I am on lots of medications, and they're horrendous in price. Even though the president says he's going to get it down, it's not down. The cost of living has superseded my ability to live in a meaningful way. Every month, my money goes out with no more coming in due to disability. So I'm saying even if there was not a pandemic, there's people like myself who's living in a house that cannot afford for people to continue to rate the senior citizens on fixed incomes. And that's, Commissioner, I'm asking that you hear, put yourself in my shoe. If it was your grandparents, your parent, whatever, consider those of us that don't have that ability like maybe some do. And that's my testimony. I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Ms. Conyers. Any questions? Commissioners? Thank you, Ms. Conyers, for being here tonight. Okay, operator, if you'll get us Judith Hart.
Ms. Hart's line is open.
Thank you. Ms. Hart, if we'll get you sworn in. Thank you. Glad you're here tonight. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you will state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
My name is Judith Hart, and I live in the Brookhaven subdivision, Columbia 29229. I live in a subdivision with over 1,000 houses, and many of them are senior citizens, fixed income, as myself, I'm a single person. I shouldn't be paying a water bill that 10 other people are paying the same amount for. A sewer bill. My water bill is $25 a month. And I certainly don't flush my toilet twice as much as I have water coming in. I'm on a fixed income, as are many residents in here. It should be based on usage. And shame on them for taking advantage of all these people. We need more people to stand up for the consumers. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Hart. Any questions? Commissioners, any questions? Thank you very much, Ms. Hart. Okay, operator, if you'll give us Ms. Amy Thiel.
Ms. Thiel's line is open.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Thiel, and
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, and can you cut your camera on? You're signed up to appear by video.
I'm trying to.
Ah,
I think.
there you go. Great. All right, Ms. Thiel, let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you will state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
I'm at Chadwick Court in Northeast Columbia, in a Pickwick subdivision. The reason I'm on here is basically the same as everybody else. The increase that we had 2.5 years ago was appalling, and another increase for senior citizens, people on fixed incomes. We're not getting anything else out of that. We're funding their pockets, and I just feel like they're raping us for for this utility that doesn't do anything more. We don't get any more out of it. I just feel like it's unnecessary. I live alone. I have a $20 water bill and double the utility fee. So I just feel like it's a little ridiculous for them to come back 2.5 years later for another increase and taking advantage of the communities. And there's new developments here that they already have more money coming in, as well as for the new communities just around me. There's 2 of them that I see every day on my way home from work. And others in Northeast area, Elgin, everywhere. There's new communities going up all over the place. I just feel like it's ridiculous that we have to go through this and spend 3 hours, trying to, save our families. Aside from the pandemic issues, there's so many people that are on unemployment. They can't, do they pay their water bill or do they buy their medication? We shouldn't have to be held hostage to this situation. So that's what I had to say. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Thiel. Any questions of Ms. Thiel? Commissioners, any questions? Ms. Thiel, thank you so much for being here tonight. Okay, operator, if you'll give us Aura Logan.
Aura Logan has not yet joined.
How about Mahesh Manghani?
Mahesh Manghani is not yet joined.
Teresa Allen.
Teresa Allen is not yet joined.
Jacqueline Howard.
Nope.
Whoops.
My apologies, Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
Teresa Allen's line is open.
Great. Okay. Ms. Allen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Great. Let's get you sworn in, and then we'll let you testify. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Oh, and you signed up to be on video. Can you cut your video?
It says it's not working. Could not share webcam.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Well, Ms. Allen, if you'll just go ahead and state your name and address, and then we will begin your testimony.
My name is Teresa Allen. I live on Heron Glen Drive in Lake Village Subdivision, Columbia 29229. And I'd like to thank everyone for allowing me this opportunity to speak. I am a recent widow, very recent. My husband just died on May the 11th. And so I'm learning how to do all of this alone, pay all the bills, and so it's quite an undertaking. My water bill for the last 6 months has been between $28 and $34 a month for 2 people. So I can only imagine that now my water bill will go down. And I, like other people, don't want to have to choose between paying my mortgage or food or medicine or my sewer bill. And I can't believe that Palmetto Utilities has already had a 57% rate hike only 2.5 years ago, and now they're wanting a 43% increase. That's just ludicrous to me. I don't even understand why we're having a meeting about this. It's so ludicrous. And with the unemployment situation as it is, and I personally don't, and the COVID crisis, and I personally don't want to have to use Palmetto Utilities. I don't like having to pay $52.10 a month because I used to pay about $25 a month until they raised it, and I thought that was fair because it was in line with my water bill. But I wish they would merge with Columbia Department, and to me that would be fair. I don't agree with the fixed rate of payment. Instead of, I'd like a rate payment based on consumption. And I'd like you to please rule in favor of us homeowners. And I am a senior citizen and cannot afford the $52.10 a month, much less the proposed $66.62 a month. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Any questions for Ms. Allen? Commissioners, any questions? Ms. Allen, thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you for your testimony.
You're welcome.
Operator, if you'll give us Jacqueline Howard.
Jacqueline Howard is not yet joined.
About Daquan Shells.
Daquan Shells is not yet joined.
Shanita Maynard.
Shanita Maynard is not yet joined.
Bernice Favor.
Bernice Favor is not yet joined.
Victoria McCarthy.
Ms. McCarthy's
Can you
line
hear
is
me?
open.
Right. Ms. McCarthy, welcome.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
get you sworn in.
Thank you.
And do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Ms. McCarthy, if you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Victoria McCarthy at Olander Millway, Columbia, 29229.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. McCarthy.
We'll be covering some of the same things that other people have said, but I think that you need to hear the volume. If you go to the website for Palmetto Utilities, first off, they talk about that they've grown via profit to become the largest wastewater investor-owned utility in South Carolina, that they acquire poorly run and improve for growth and service opportunities. Now, no one is saying that a company cannot indeed go for profit. That's how business works. However, having many years in the business world and having to do plans and contingencies, I did attend the January meeting evening in the rec hall. It overflowed. People were very upset. The officers who were present from the company gave us a bunch of malarkey in regards to it. But the biggest thing that made an impression on me was their slide that showed the $80 million in revenue that we were supposed to make up as customers. And I guess my big question to you, both the commission and also the owner of the utility or the president, however you may be noted, is that all businesses have capital expenses. You have ways of planning. You have ways of planning for things that are going to break. And we were told that they had to expand and things broke. Well, if that's what you're supplying, power and treatment plants, when I asked the question of the company at the meeting, got a very unsatisfactory answer to say, where is your business plan and why should I pay your mistakes? And unfortunately, as a customer, because it's a monopoly, I cannot fire them, but I would after hearing them in January, hearing how they treated us as customers. I also am a senior citizen on a fixed income. I have a household of 2. And why should I pay for the same rates as every other household who's greater than 2? When we pressed them in the meeting as to why we could not be metered, they gave us many different answers, one of which is that it would cost them 75 cents per customer to purchase my water bill from the company because Columbia refused to give them that. Everybody to a person in that said, we pay the 75 cents for you to purchase our water usage. That was not a big deal. We also said, why can't you meter? And I come from New York State, and when I came down to South Carolina, I could not believe that sewage was not metered to your water. I lived and had a household for decades up there that had metered service with absolutely no issues. When my water bill went up, such as in the summertime when kids would be home, my metered service for sewage would go up. I echo what the other people are saying. Our water bill can average around $30, and I don't flush the toilet that often to create a sewage bill of $52.10, much less the $66 that they are doing. The other thing that I would like to talk about just in my 3 minutes is that, again, if you... sorry.
Ms. McCarthy, sorry. Trying to figure out how to stop this. Thank you, Ms. McCarthy. We appreciate your testimony. Any questions of Ms. McCarthy? Commissioners, any questions? Ms. McCarthy, thank you so much for testifying tonight.
Thank you.
Operator, if you could get us Laverne Carson, please.
Laverne Carson has not yet joined.
Georgiana Childs.
Ms. Childs' line is open.
Ms. Childs, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Great. Let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Childs. If you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
Okay, it's Georgiana Childs, Elkhorn Lane, Columbia, 29229, and I am a customer of Palmetto Utilities. I am calling in tonight to testify to protest this increase that Palmetto Utilities has applied for. I am a senior citizen, okay? I am a one-person household, okay, and I live on a fixed income, okay? I'm testifying in protest because just not too long ago, 2.5 years ago, we got an increase of over $30, okay? Now my bill is $52.10. Now Palmetto Utilities wants an increase of $14.52 again. I cannot afford this. And I don't think that one person in a household should have to pay the same as a household that has 4 or 5 people. I just don't think that that's fair. I really do believe that if my bill was based on my consumption, my bill would be a lot less, you know, something that I could actually afford. Now, we're in the midst of a pandemic, okay? You have so many people that are on unemployment. Some people don't even have any income at all, okay? So why are we being pushed to the point where we have to choose between buying our medications and having to buy cat food out of the can because that's the only thing that we can afford, you know, to eat? You know, it's just not fair, you know, and it's all because, you know, they want to line their pockets. Okay, now I understand that people want to make money. Okay, that's understandable, but does it always have to be passed on to the customer? You know, why does everything have to be placed on our backs? You know, most families now, especially here in South Carolina, we are struggling. You know, and I feel bad for those people that actually have, you know, children that have to actually do more with their money than what I have to do with mine. But the dollar can only be stretched but so far, okay? And I'm at my limit, okay? So when do we as a customer, okay, get a break? You know, I'm asking that my representative for my district vote no on this particular increase, okay, because it's just not fair, and I really don't think that it's necessary. Okay, I thank you for the opportunity to actually, you know, voice my opinion.
Thank you, Ms. Childs. Any questions from Ms. Childs? Commissioners? Ms. Childs, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Operator, if you'll give us Wallace Hall.
Wallace Hall has not yet connected.
Okay, it's 7:15. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back at 7:26. Welcome back, everyone. From that break, I think we'll continue with our testimony, and I think, operator, we're going to get Mr. Wallace Hall on the line.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hall's line is open. Thank you.
Mr. Hall, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Great. We'll get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. If you will please state your name and your address, and then we will start your 3 minutes.
My name is Wallace Hall. My address is 222 Cartburn Road, Columbia, South Carolina, 29229.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Hamilton, if you'll mute your phone, please, sir.
I'd love to know how you're doing.
Okay. Mr. Hall, if you can start now. Thank you.
Okay. First off, I want to try to figure out why are we allowing them to have a rate increase when we just did a corporate bailout. So if they got a corporate bailout out of our tax dollars, we shouldn't be giving them money and then on top of it, allowing them to increase their rate for extra money in the time of this pandemic. So it absolutely makes no common sense whatsoever to give them an increase at this time. There's no new water systems being put into anybody's houses or any other reason except corporate greed. So we need for somebody to step up for our community to stop this from happening. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Any questions for Mr. Hall? Parties, commissioners. Mr. Hall, thank you for being here tonight. Operator, if you'll give us Anna Lane.
Miss Lane's line is open.
Miss Lane, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great, thank you. We're going to swear you in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it will.
Thank you. If you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Anna Lane, Killian Station, Columbia, South Carolina.
Thank you. We've got somebody else talking on the line. Hang on for a second, Miss Lane. We just wanted to make sure.
Can you hear now?
Okay. Okay.
Is it better now? Hello?
Oh, do you have your live stream on, Miss Lane? Because we're
Yes.
getting feedback. If you'll cut that down while you're that we're getting an echo from that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. Ms. Lane, if you begin your testimony, thank you.
Yes. Again, my name is Anna Lane, and I'm from Killian Station in Columbia, South Carolina. And we're in District 7, and we're really, really concerned about what is happening with Palmetto. And as Senator McLeod said so eloquently and basically took the words out of my mouth, I was so amazed for us to even receive something like this in the middle of what we're dealing with this pandemic and everything going on. It was like, okay, we already felt like Palmetto could care less about the people. All they care about is getting money, regardless of what we say. And then now for this to still be going on in the middle of the pandemic, that they would call, and now we're going on another hearing where this is going on. And I know in January there was an overwhelming amount of people that responded to this. And then now to have this happening in virtual, I know there's many people that are concerned about this, and they're not even able to be here to speak their part or to say whatever. So I wanted to be concerned not only for what they're asking for now, but I'm concerned about the rate increase even to the 5210. I don't even remember getting a proper notice or being aware that happened, and then to change it to average billing where having one person in the house or two person in the house is getting charged the same thing as whether the people have 6 or 10. You don't have to be an expert to know that that's unfair. That is no way in the world somebody with 1 or 2 persons in a household is going to use the amount of water as somebody with 6 to 10, and that's not even being considered. So I want that to be considered to change that, and absolutely do not increase our bill more to put more pressure on us in an area of finance. I don't understand why they're needing this type of increase, and again so soon, in approximately 3 years or less, they've just gotten a big increase. Now to be requesting another one, it is sad and it is pitiful that the people are not cared for any more than that. That is more concerned about the money we need, without realizing who the people are even. And to do it, and to continue to do it, when we're in the middle of crisis. So easily they could have asked to withdraw this, but they did not do it. So I cannot have any respect or concern for Palmetto Utilities to say to us that they have consideration to us, and I hope they didn't take that away. At one point they were saying, well, they will allow it to us to pay a little over time. I don't trust. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Lane. We appreciate it. Any questions from Ms. Lane from the parties, from the commissioners? Thank you, Ms. Lane, for being here. Operator, will you give us Debbie Jones?
Ms. Jones's line is open.
Ms. Jones, are you there?
I'm right here. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Let's
Yes,
get you
I'm
sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Great. If you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
I'm Debbie Jones, and I live in the Legend Oaks subdivision, zip code 29229. And I am just going to echo pretty much what everyone else has stated. But I would like to begin by saying, now I am in a 2-person household, and I'm speaking on behalf of my husband and I, but he works long distance, so he's not here. And he's pretty much away most of the time, so it's pretty much myself. But about a month ago, my mother, one evening I was speaking with her, and she sounded very upset, and I never heard her sound that way before. And then she told me that they were taking up her water bill. I have never heard in all the years, my mother being a single parent with 5 children, never at the point of tears. And she was depressed, and she was at the point of tears. She said they were taking up her water bill. So I'm calling about my residence, not about hers, but I'm just adding this. Because my mother, she is a senior citizen, a retiree, and but she was at the point of tears. So I got with my daughter and my sister. My sister lives in Atlanta. My daughter have her own residence. But we're trying to figure out a way, and I asked my mother how much would her bill be going up, and she did mention that, the amount. And even though maybe to someone else it may sound like nothing, but to have her in tears and depressed over the matter, so I spoke with my sister and my daughter to see how we can help supplement her every month so that weight will be off her mind. We would pay the difference. We would do whatever we can to put that money, give her something extra into her household to pay for her water increase. But along with everyone else, I don't understand why it's going up. I have asked the company over the years, because initially I asked them, why don't they give us the option to pay by phone? Because back then they were just doing the mail-in. And then eventually, you know, I asked about pay by phone and online, and eventually, you know, they got other options. But when the rate jumped up a few years ago, it caught me by surprise, and I called and I spoke with different ones on more than one occasion, and I asked them respectfully the reason why. And I said, I know initially my water was like under 20, 15 or something like that before it went up to over 50. But I asked them what was the reason. I said, you all don't even offer us different payment options, so I don't even understand what the point is for the increase, because, I mean, it's so many, and I'm just coming from a little different angle because others have already stated what I had in my notes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jones. Any questions from Ms. Jones?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Belser.
Ms. Jones, my name's Commissioner Belser. Is your mother's account with Palmetto also? I was a bit, or is she with a different provider?
I think she's with a different provider.
Okay.
I live nearby her. I mean, close enough, but I don't think she have the same provider.
Okay.
But,
thank you very much.
My point is, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Operator, if you could get us Janetta Pinckney.
Janetta Pinckney is not yet connected.
How about Suzanne Bacon?
Suzanne Bacon has not yet connected.
Larry Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis's line is open.
Great. Mr. Ellis, let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And I think, Mr. Ellis, if you'll cut on your video, you're signed up to testify by video, so if you'll cut that camera on.
Okay, let's see if this will work.
There we go.
Well,
we got you.
See me there, I think.
All right. We can see you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Well, then if you will state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Larry Ellis. I've been a resident of Crick & Tree, 112 Stonebrook Drive, Blythewood, South Carolina for 19 years. And I want to adamantly oppose this 30% increase. I was flabbergasted when I heard it. You know, I've heard a lot of comments tonight, and I read through the site on why they're proposing that this increase needs to be implemented. My feelings are that this increase is the result of all the development that we've had in the Northeast. I mean, being here 19 years, I have really seen a lot of cars, a lot of new subdivisions coming in. And I am really concerned if someone like Great Southern Homes decides that they want to build 600 new houses down by Blythewood. Blythewood doesn't particularly want them. We don't want them that have lived in the Northeast here for so long and our roads are so crowded. But we're going to end up subsidizing the increased cost for Palmetto Utilities for the sewers to be tied in as a result of growth, and that I think is just unfair to begin with. And furthermore, if you do add more people, your costs should drop as you spread fixed costs over a larger population. Costs shouldn't be going up. It makes no sense to me. Also, on their website, they posted the rates of various utility companies. That wasn't adjusted by population. They got small companies that are in there that have high rates. Columbia is much lower than us. East Richland is much lower than what they're proposing for us.
So I think that rate schedule is the wrong representation. And from just a business financial standpoint, I've seen no financials. I don't know what they're looking for the return on investment. I don't know what their executive pay scale is, but it just doesn't make sense in this current economy for these guys to come out and ask for an increase. They're just out through the woods. If we don't know what's going to occur to the economy, whether it's going to come back or whether it's not. I'm hoping that it will, and I do. But to try and make a decision like this in the midst of all this just is absolutely wrong. So, if I were going to pay for something in the Northeast, I'd pay for more roads. I wouldn't pay for more sewers. And I'd like you to help me keep Palmetto Utilities out of my pocket. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Any questions for Mr. Ellis? Commissioners, any questions? Mr. Ellis, thank you for your testimony. Operator, if you'll give us Stanley Montgomery Sr., please.
Stanley Montgomery has not yet joined, sir.
Donna Armstead.
Donna Armstead has not yet joined.
LaShawn Smiley.
LaShawn Smiley has not yet joined.
David Lawrence Jones.
Hello.
Mr. Jones, welcome. Let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Jones,
Yes,
if you'll state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
All right. My name is David Lawrence Jones. I'm at address 504 Ridge Trail Drive, Columbia, South Carolina. I'm speaking on a lot of the residents that's not aware of this increase, especially in my neighborhood. Get some information in reference to it. I don't agree to the increase. I've had several homeowners that stay in the community that say, hey, they've been basically increasing the rate over the years, and just kind of want to know basically what's your profit margins and things that y'all want to, what you're trying to accomplish by increasing this rate. I know we got several things that came up as reference to upgrades and pandemic as far as things of that, but everybody has different living arrangements that just want to understand why y'all going up on why is it an increase, and why is not an option that you can't go through basically the city. I know this is a private owned company. I just want a lot of answers of trying to understand why this increase and why within a certain amount of years it has been increased to this amount. You have a lot of families that have been in this community for years, and it's kind of like, why? I would like another testimony to speak in reference to it, even though I've been told that we can't speak on the 30th. But I would like another take some more notes and find out why we can't speak on this. Yeah, I just need information on why they increased. And the fact of the matter that I can say a lot of neighbors are not aware of the increase because a lot of people pay their bills, and, they try to do the right thing, but we don't always contest and say why they increased or why they be increased. Answers, and I think it should be provided. A lot of people have been a lot as far as the commission on the behalf. A lot of people have been mentioned. I'm not aware of those people that represent us, and I would like to hear more of their voices on why we're being increased. I want to speak again in reference to this, but probably not. But I'm just being honest from my community and representing, just saying that I don't think that is needed. and give me another option as far as through the city that we can pretty much have options.
Mr. Jones, thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for Mr. Jones?
I want to speak
Thank
again
you.
in reference to this.
Mr. Jones, we appreciate you being here tonight and appreciate your testimony. And
And I totally disagree with.
okay, Mr. Jones, thank you. Your 3 minutes is been up, and we appreciate you being here. Operator, if you'll give us Terrell Gladney, please.
Terrell Gladney is not yet joined.
Alyssa Graham.
Ms. Graham's line is open.
Ms. Graham, let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Ms. Graham? Ms. Graham, are you trying to get your video on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. And can you punch on your video?
I believe I did.
Gotcha. We got you. Thank you. Okay. Let's get you sworn in. Ms. Graham, do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Elisa Graham, 307 Stuber Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, in the Asbury subdivision. This is my first time doing this, so I started out in Columbia as a renter. I used to rent from Companion at the Palms, and sewer there, and at the time was like $33. So I've been in Columbia since 2014. Went to different apartment rental places, and I noticed it start going up from 33, went up to like 50-something dollars, and now I am actually a homeowner, and I am the only person in my home. I'm a single person in my home, and so now it's 60. It's 52, but now you all want to go up again to 66. So I've been through like 3 or 4 different changes since you all keep changing the sewer bill, not knowing what you all are doing. I haven't seen or heard of any type of renovation or whatever you all are doing. You're saying that you are, but I haven't seen if you got to do this every 3 years, every 2 years, how often you got to keep raising it up. And then, again, I'm single, and I understand. I hear some of the seniors' testimony. I, too, have to buy medicine. Why should I have to pay for the same amount as a five-person household as versus a one-person household? I heard Miss Scotty, she made valid points. So I'm not sure how often you all have had these type of meetings, but are the testimonies worth giving a testimony? Are you all actually listening to the people? What's the purpose of doing this if you're not going to even consider what we're asking of you? Yes, the pandemic now is going on, and the minimum wages are not even going up or anything. So what's the purpose? What are you doing with the money? Why do you have to keep increasing? And you're saying you're making repairs, and it has why? It has to be repaired every other year? I mean, I'm not sure how often you all are doing this, but it's not making any sense. It's ridiculous, and I agree with everyone. If you're going to do it, make it fair. Make it for a person who has one household, or the senior, or people who has a lot of people in their household. Separate the difference. If you got to increase it, don't charge me for what you're charging a 3 or 4 home person. People with 3 or 4 people in their home. Be fair about it. But why continue to increase it? And you're banking the money, look like, instead of making actual repairs like you all saying you are. What sense does this make? It's ridiculous to continue to do this. We have to live. We have to buy food. We have to buy medicine. We have to take care of ourselves. But if you continue to increase, if it's not the water bill, it's the sewer bill, it's the light bill. If you keep increasing these things, how are we supposed to live?
we'll be homeless, or it's ridiculous. And I'm just becoming a household owner. It's ridiculous.
Thank you, Ms. Graham. Any questions for Ms. Graham? Okay. Ms. Graham, thank you for being here tonight. Operator, if you'll give us Jackie Watts.
Jackie Watts is not yet connected.
Tina Perry.
Tina Perry is not yet connected.
Virgil Robitz.
Virgil Robitz is not yet connected.
Deborah Harrison.
Miss Harrison's line is
Deborah's
open.
here.
Great. Ms. Harrison, do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin. Thank you.
Deborah Harrison, live in Summit Hills Subdivision, 29223. Yes, I'm very much concerned about the considerable rate increase. I, too, am a senior citizen and a one-person household. Looking at the rate increase previously and calculating ahead, if this company continues to do this for the next 3 to 4 years or even 5, we'll soon be paying almost $100 just for sewage. And that's even unthinkable to me. So I really wonder, where is the money going? I don't think they need an increase. Also, with all of the new development, as has been mentioned, that's coming online, businesses and homes, that should be giving this company a considerable amount of money. So I don't see the reason for the increase. As I've said, a one-person household shouldn't have to pay for the 4 or 5. Even the businesses are paying the same amount as the residents. So this is very unfair, and we should not have to choose, okay, I can't buy ground beef this week because I'm going to have to pay that sewer bill, so I might have to eat beanie weenie or something else. But really, it's just too much on the residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison. Any questions for Ms. Harrison? Ms. Harrison, thank you for your testimony. Operator, if you'll give us Aretha Walker.
Aretha Walker is not yet joined.
Denise Foster, or
Ms. Foster's line is open.
Foster, let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Ms. Foster? Are you trying to connect your video, Ms. Foster?
Ms. Foster's not in the video call.
Let's see if we'll swing back by her and try to reconnect. Latasha Robinson.
Miss Robinson's line is open.
Ms. Robinson, are you there?
I'm here.
Could you please?
Right, and if you will put your video camera on, Ms. Robinson.
Ms. Graham, could you please stop sharing your video? She's not listening.
No, we're on Ms. Robinson.
She's on there. Ms. Graham is also on.
Okay.
Ms. Graham.
Okay.
It's okay. Go ahead. Punch her up.
Okay, sorry. Okay, Ms. Robinson, you still there? There we go. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get you sworn in, Ms. Robinson. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Robinson, if you will, and Ms. Graham, if you can hear us, if you'll cut your camera off. Please, ma'am. We got both of you on there, and we've already. Okay, Miss Robinson, if you will state your
Yes,
name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Latasha Robinson, and I live at 259 Legend Oaks Drive, Columbia, South Carolina. As stated by a majority of the people on this line, I have an issue with the rate hike for several reasons. Since moving and buying a house in Columbia, South Carolina, it appalled me to see that my water and sewage was not on the same bill. One can't do without the other. So I didn't understand why the two bills were separate. Palmetto Utilities is one of the most unprofessional companies that I have ever encountered. From the poorly managed meeting that was held at North Springs Park to the horrible customer service that they have. What type of company only have a way to tell you that you're behind is to send you a certified letter to your address, which cost you $25. When asked why they couldn't send a past due letter, etc., when all the bills that comes out say that you're up to date, their response is, our system doesn't allow us to do that. When asked why they stopped doing consumption based to a flat rate base, their response at the meeting was that the city of Columbia wouldn't give us what was needed in order to be able to bill. I reached out to City Councilwoman Tamika Devine, who you guessed it, determined that was a lie. Per Councilwoman Devine and her office staff, they stated about 2 years ago, Palmetto Utilities decided to move to a flat rate structure and informed them that they no longer needed their billing data. They were only charging 50 cents at the time and not the 75 cents, which we were told. Palmetto Utilities is a deceitful company. They are not utilizing their money properly. They would rather put the burden of carrying this company to the homes instead of to big businesses. At this meeting, yes, there were representatives from the city, but they deferred us from asking them questions, stating they were only there to observe. Why would you send representatives to a town hall meeting that was unable to address and speak to us about our concerns? That meeting was a bogus meeting, and it showed how deceitful and unprofessional Palmetto Utilities is. This needs to be stopped, and this issue needs to be addressed, and a resolution needs to be found, which is not to be billing a homeowner the same as a business and pushing it off to the homeowner, saying that we need the businesses because that was promotes growth within the city. That's not right, because I do not use the same amount of money as somebody as Kroger's, who's only paying one time for that one line. How ridiculous is that? They make thousands of dollars of money, way more money than what we do in a household, but they pay one time for that. That is crazy. And then you want to push the burden off to the homeowner, saying that, well, you all use it more. Doesn't make sense. A reconstruction need to be done with Palmetto Utilities, and either our business needs to be sent over to the city.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Thank you so much. Are there questions for Ms. Robinson? Mr. Nelson.
Ms. Robinson, this is Jeff Nelson, ORS. You made some kind of general comments about poor customer care and unprofessionalism of the company. Do you have any specific instances that you're aware of or anything that you wanted to tell us about, or is this just a general observation?
Yes. In general, we have. I stay in the Legend Oak community. I'm very out in my neighborhood. Several of them have made very upset. One member came home. She said that she was getting a certified letter, but she was getting home after the post office closed. So by the time she was able to find out where the certified letter came, Palmetto Utility had them charge her $75 because they sent the letter back. So every time they send you out a letter, they sending you $25. She said she was confused because the statement that always comes out doesn't clarify if you have a past due amount. It just says you're fine, you're up to date. And yes, I'm a customer, so I do clarify and also agree with what she's saying, that yes, that's the only thing it does say. It doesn't tell you if it's late. It doesn't tell you anything. When myself, I have spoken to the customer service there. Their customer service is very rude. They're not very professional. They handle us as if we are dogs in a sense, because they don't value the customer. So when you value customers, you don't give them your behind to kiss. I'm just gonna put it in layman terms. When you call there, sometimes depending on what type of mood the customer, the representative is in, you don't get any help. And it's appalling because you're charging us almost $60. I stay in a one-person bedroom house. I stay in a house with one person in it, and you charge me almost $60. And I'm calling you, asking you for help or clarity on the matter, and you handle me very unprofessional. To charge that much rate, you would think they would have a better billing cycle or billing system in place. They say, oh, our system doesn't allow us to send out past due. I'm like, well, you can't put it. I asked them myself. I said, you can't put them on like a pink letter or something. I said, the city of Columbia, if your bill is late, they change the paper. Oh, we don't have that ability to do that. Isn't that very unprofessional not to provide a resolution or even look into my concerns?
Thank you. Mr. Hafer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Robinson, Mr. Nelson asked you some questions, and you were talking about a neighbor who got a certified letter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you ever received a certified letter?
I have received a certified letter. I have also received a certified letter as well.
And,
yes.
can you tell me when you received that certified letter?
I received that letter. I had just purchased my house. And like I said, as stated before, I did not know. I came from a small town, Batesburg, Leesville, and our water and our sewers is together. So I was unaware of the issue. So when I came home, it was a certified letter, and I was like, who is this coming from? Because I had just purchased my home. So I'm like, who's sending me a certified letter? So by the next week, when I got to the post office to get it, when I got home on that same day, it was a pink sticker on my door, and I'm like, okay, where's this pink sticker coming from? When I looked, like I said, I was unaware of that. I was not told when I purchased this house that the sewer and the water was separate. Got it situated, but that's why I called and asked and said, well, why didn't y'all send out something? Because I said, you didn't really even let me know who you were. I didn't know what you was doing. You get a house, you get all these type of offers. So it was nothing there introducing me to you to say that you are this and you handle this. I know about Dominion Energy. I know about the City of Columbia. Not knowing that Palmetto Utilities was a separate bill.
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Robinson. So you say, did I understand you correctly, there's 6 persons living in your house?
I said one. It's just me.
Okay, I misunderstood.
I said you have me pay almost $60.
Okay, so you're there by yourself, and when I'll ask you again, when did this event occur where you got a certified letter and a pink sticker? Was it this year, last year?
March of 2017.
I'm sorry?
2017.
March of 2017.
March of 2017.
And when did you move into that residence?
And since then, let me put a note in this. I asked them in January when we had that bogus meeting, and the customer service manager, I forget her name, shut the meeting down because people was asking questions and very upset. She shut the meeting down, and I said, well, how are y'all planning on fixing our billing system? Because I said, you're talking about raising the rate, but what? I said, why isn't that fixed going into our billing system? She looked at me and rolled her eyes and kept walking. You
got that certified letter in March of 2017, you said. When did you move into this house?
Yes. I moved into this house in November of 2016.
And so am I correct in understanding that between November 2016 and March of 2017, you did not have an account with Palmetto Utilities?
I had an account, but as stated before, when I moved into this house, no one really informed me. Like I knew they told me to call the City of Columbia and turn the water on. So I got all that situated. I was back and forth because unfortunately at the time when I was closing my house, I was traveling with my job. So I was traveling extensively. Like
Thank
I
you
said,
so much.
when I got once I got the letter, I got a letter in the mail and it says that I said Palmetto Utilities. I said okay. I said okay. I said, oh Lord. I said I didn't even know it was separated. That very next week I had a certified letter, and I'm sitting here like, okay, who still trying to figure out, because it doesn't really tell you on the certified letter, because the space, I guess, for the business name is not big enough. They did not really put who it was from. So I said, okay. I went to the post office, got that, and by that same week, I'm like, and so I called them. I said, well, you sent me out a letter on this day. I said, you sent me a certified letter on this day. I said, now, I understand. I said, I'm not, I said, wrong is wrong. I said, it's my fault. I should have researched it and dealt with this. I said, I'm not blaming nobody about the past due amount. I said, but my concern is, why did I get a bill that says that you are up to date, you're fine 1 week, and the next week get a certified letter? I said, why isn't there something to say, okay, this amount is past due and you need to pay this amount, or something on like a different color of paper? And that was my response.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I don't have any more questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Robinson. We appreciate your testimony. Operator, if you'll give us John Yesko.
John Yesko has not joined the call.
Pat Adams.
Pat Adams' line is open.
Hello?
Hello. Let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, if you will state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Thank you. My name is Pat Adams. I live in Wilshire Circle, Northeast Columbia, 29229. And I'm begging the commission to deny the request for an increase. We have very low water consumption. We only use like 2,500 gallons a month, and the ridiculous increases are too much. It is not fair. It is discriminatory to have individuals have to pay the same amount as a homeowner that has 8 or 10 people living in the home, or a business. It is just plain unfair. And so I strongly urge you to deny the request for increase and to actually rescind this flat charge. That is just not fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you so much for your testimony. Operator, if you'll give us Tinsella Ross.
Tinsella Ross's line is open.
Okay, and
yes, thank you so much.
And are you going to do video, Ms. Ross?
No, sir, I'm on audio.
Okay. Let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Great. If you will please state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Okay, my name is Tanisla Ross. Address is 922 Near Creek Drive. That's Blythewood, South Carolina, 29016. Living in the Longtown area, and talked to several other community members and neighbors that are equally concerned, and we definitely need your help. I am a military family, and as a military family, to echo a lot of the other people that have spoken, things are different in every state, and apparently they're different from city to city. But I was on the other end. I was paying Palmetto and not paying my water bill until the water got turned off, because everywhere I've lived only had one bill. And so it's very alarming to have 2 different bills and higher than normal at that. We've had several people coming out between the water company, people to look at the sprinkler systems for leaks, no leaks, and I hear people saying about a base paying of water. Our water bill has been as high as $400 a month, and now in the summer months it ranged from $100 to $200 a month. That is completely trying to monitor how often we even use the sprinklers, praying for rain, whereas neighbors to both sides of me have never had a water bill over $60 at any time of the year. So we're still not understanding the differences in that. We also have had concerns of even trying to limit with flushing, so that we're trying to save water on all ends and just researching all kind of things because we're not really understanding the differences there. Also, we don't understand the units that's used and what the water is responsible for versus the sewage. It makes zero sense. So with all of that being said, and then yet having an increase and not finding ways that we can try to get the bill down, even although we are a military family, we're a family of four, and like I said, in different places, and we're just really concerned and wanting to make our voice be heard with all of the concern that everyone else had as well.
Thank you, Ms. Ross.
Also, question of other providers. I did want to ask the question of the other providers. There's Palmetto, and then from what we were told is you just throw it up in a hat and you have other providers. And so we don't know, but I'm concerned if their prices are equally, if that's equally a problem, or if it's just with Palmetto. Being a military, not understanding the culture or what the deal is here in South Carolina. So that was our other question as well. Not knowing if this is a place that pose questions, but as a part of my testimony, wanted to have those questions out there.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ross. Any questions for Ms. Ross? Ms. Ross, thank you so much for your testimony. Operator, if you'll give us Albert LaShawn Ross.
Mr. Ross, are you by chance sharing the line? Sir, Mr. Ross does not appear to be on the line.
Okay. How about Janie Davis?
Ms. Davis,
Hello?
the line is open.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I affirm.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, if you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Janie Davis, and I live at Davis Jenkins Road, zip code 29229, and I do use Palmetto Utilities because it's the only one that's available to me, which is one of my concerns, that I really feel like they have a monopoly. And I was really shocked when I got this correspondence through the mail that they were again seeking a rate increase. I was also at the public meetings in 2018 when they explained that they needed to improve their system and they needed the money to pay off, I think, a loan that they received, and here they are back again requesting money again. I feel like it's very unfair because the people who they're asking to pay the money, they don't get a 50% pay increase. They don't get a 43% pay increase to be able to pay the rates that we're being asked to pay at this point in time. I asked the Public Service Commission to please consider having other companies available in this agency, so in this area, so we'll have an option in terms of who we use for this service, because I think they will become a lot more efficient and professional if they have some competition. They have no reason to do better or to be better because they are the only company in town, and we need the sewer service. So it's like we have to put up with a very poor service, and I just feel like that's very unfair to us. And I also want to just mention that as there is growth in the area, more development, I don't think the cost for sewer should be passed on to those of us who are already connected to the system. The developers who are building these new developments must and should put that extra cost. They should bear that cost. We should not bear that cost. And I'm feeling that's what's happening. The costs are being pushed on to those of us who are already on the system. I also agree that this is the most inappropriate time to consider a rate increase, given everything that is going on at this time. I would ask that the Public Service Commission delay making the decision on this until the economy has turned around, and I would say no earlier than a year, to make sure that people are back gainfully employed, and then make a decision about whether this is an appropriate increase for this company to request. I think it's very unfair to ask people, given everything that we are facing now. We still have the winter to go through with the pandemic, so there is no guarantee that the economy is going to be good and that people are going to have the opportunity to go back and be gainfully employed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Any questions for Ms. Davis? Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Davis. Operator, if you'll give us Denise Kelly.
Denise Kelly has not connected.
Bertha Myers.
Bertha Myers is not connected.
Annette Balcon.
Annette Balcon is not connected.
Judy Waters.
Judy Waters is not connected.
Thomas Rembert Jr.
Thomas Rembert Jr. is not connected.
Vern Boyd.
Hello?
Mr. Boyd.
Yes, sir.
Great. We need to get you sworn in, and then we'll take your testimony. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Boyd, if you will state your name and your address, and your 3 minutes will begin.
Hey, my name is Laverne Boyd. My address is 9 Crabtree Springs Court, Columbia, South Carolina, 29229.
Great. Thank you. Go right ahead.
All right. I do not agree with the rate increase, and there are several reasons why I do not agree with it. First of all is I'm looking around at the communities right here where I live, just a little block where I live, and from my calculation, you guys are already getting about $1 million a month just from this little area around here, these little communities here. And so once you multiply that by the other people that you have, that's a lot of money coming in. And I don't see anything that you're doing with that money. Not only that, you have other people, older people, who are on fixed income, who can't afford this little increase. And so what you really need to start doing, stop giving the bonus out to the CEOs and cut down some of their pay. And you can't please your board members all the time, because all they want is more money in their pocket. And you got to start looking at the common people who are trying to make a living out here. We don't have all that money that you guys think we have, because once we get paid, you pay your taxes and you get taxed on everything else you get. So by the time you get down to the nitty-gritty, you really don't have that much money that you're trying to live on. And now you're taking money that somebody might have to pay for their medication or a doctor bill. Now they have to put that towards paying the sewage bill, which I don't understand why the sewage and the water is not together in anyway. What I think we need is for another company to come in and give Palmetto competition so that the rates will go down. Because right now you guys got a monopoly on this thing, and we don't have nobody else who can step in, and that's why you keep wanting to raise the rate, because of that. And that's all I got to say on it, but I do not agree with the increase at all.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd. Any questions for Mr. Boyd? Mr. Boyd, thank you for your testimony. Operator, if you'll give us Nirmal Agarwal.
Nirmal Agarwal is not connected.
Okay. Ella Calvert.
Ella Calvert is not connected.
Pam Resendez.
Pam Resendez's line is open.
Ms. Resendez, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes. Speak up, though, because I think that you are not real strong. Let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Great. If you will state your name and your address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Okay. My name is Pam Resendez. My address is Buckthorn Circle, Elgin, 29045. I was annexed into the city of Columbia approximately 10 years ago, and I now pay City of Columbia taxes. One of the services provided by the city is reduced water rates, and for the majority of city residents, they also receive reduced sewer rates based on water consumption. In addition, I am also charged a stormwater fee each by the City of Columbia. Even though I am located inside the city of Columbia does not provide my sewer service. My sewer service is provided by Palmetto Utilities, Inc., which I'm not sure how that arrangement came to be, but that's how it is. In my opinion, as a resident of the city, I am currently being overcharged at the rate of $52.10 a month because my water bill averages $13 a month. So I'm on the same par as all the others that I don't use that much water, but I'm paying a crazy amount for the sewer service. Now Palmetto Utility, Inc. is planning a 28% rate increase, which I feel is exorbitant, especially for City of Columbia residents already being overcharged and considering the current economic and health environment. As others have mentioned earlier, I feel the sewer rate should be calculated based on water consumption. I thank you for this opportunity to voice my opinion.
Thank you, Ms. Resendez. Is any questions from Ms. Resendez? Thank you so much for your testimony. Okay, operator, how about Denise Foster?
Ms. Foster's line is open.
Welcome, Ms. Foster. And are you going to do video? Ms. Foster? Have we got Ms. Foster? Okay.
Commissioner, her line is open. No.
Okay, Ms. Foster, you cut on your video. We can't hear you or see you. We heard you then. That's good.
Okay, yes. So we're just going to do by audio.
Okay. Okay. So, if you let's get you sworn in. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And if you'll state your name and your address, and then we will, your 3 minutes will begin.
Okay, sir. My name, Denise Foster. My address is 3T Lost Tree Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223.
Great. Go right ahead.
As a senator and counselor, excuse me, they have stated so eloquently, and everyone else, the company, they're not thinking of the people. Like they said, the pandemic is so overwhelming right now. We don't have enough money for everything, and everyone's so stressed as they are. These changes that they say, we've not really seen for this increase in the rates, and with everything going on financially, right now is the worst time for this increase. We just, these changes is not what's best in anyone's interest right now. So, and one thing I noticed in our notice that came out in May, in their step 4, they said there's supposed to be a public service for the company, serving our public. They said to serve in one of their codes, to serve the public. They'll do it for Richland County and Kershaw County for a commission, for a fixed commission. And I'm like, that's not for the public advantage. That's not helping the public. You know, they're here supposedly for the public and helping them. Now, how is that helping them? They're doing something for a commission. I say we've got to have a company that's for the public, and they are not. They, like the other company said, we need someone for the public. South Carolina working together. Yes. Our city and state, we have to work together. Again, Senator and Councilor, like you said, you are taking care of us and looking out for us, especially with this pandemic going on. We appreciate everything. And everyone's working together and showing all the different statistics that's going on. And we have to let the public service, can't think of the name, public thing, the sewer company, to look out what's going on in our city. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Foster. Any questions? Thank you very much for your testimony. Operator, if you'll give us Deborah Gardner, please.
Deborah Gardner is not connected.
How about David Grant?
David Grant is not connected.
Mary Ann Grant?
Mary Ann Grant is not connected.
Thomasina Bowler?
Thomasina Bowler is not connected.
Jennifer Ford?
Jennifer Ford is not connected.
Pam Birch?
Pam Birch is not connected.
Louis Branham?
Louis Branham is not connected.
Pauline Ball?
Pauline Ball is not connected.
Sidney Lee?
Sidney Lee is not connected.
Sandra Norton?
Sandra Norton is not connected.
Howard Gore?
Howard Gore is not connected.
William Hinch?
Mr. Hinch's line is open.
Mr. Hinch, welcome. We need to get you sworn in. Are you doing video, Mr. Hinch?
I am doing that.
Okay, if you'll cut your camera. There we go. We got you. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Hinch. If you will state your name and address, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
I'm William Hinch, Hunt Club Road, Richland County, 29223. So for context, let me explain our circumstances. Our daughter graduated from Clemson this spring as a geneticist and moved home to work in much-needed research at the University of South Carolina, analyzing sewage for community COVID-19 infection rates. Unfortunately, the laboratory is still pending funding from the CDC, and she is now unemployed and looking for other opportunities so she can continue her education this fall. We also host an international student attending the University of South Carolina, ironically from Wuhan, China. Her family was hit hard financially in this pandemic, and so to ease their distress, we have decided to bite the bullet and offered to absorb any costs through this summer. All of these things have strained our finances severely, and besides the many concerns about utilities management that have been raised in this meeting already, the timing of this proposed increase is amazingly bad and absolutely tone deaf. Apparently, every customer can bear more and more payments demanded by utilities, but the utilities are held accountable to rein in their own costs at all. I cannot recommend strongly enough that proposed increases should have intense scrutiny from those who should be exercising fiduciary responsibility on behalf of the citizens they purport to serve. The word fiduciary derives from the word for faithfulness. I urge this commission to exercise their responsibilities with great diligence as those who certainly will have to give account to the source of all authority in heaven and earth. May you be found to be faithful servants in that day. Thank you for the opportunity to testify in this hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Hinch, for your testimony. Is there any questions? Are there any questions for Mr. Hinch? Okay, Mr. Hinch, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Okay, operator, give us
Thank you.
Larry Boyd, please.
Larry Boyd is not connected.
Cassandra Thompson.
Cassandra Thompson is not connected.
Okay. Okay, Veronica Johnson.
Veronica Johnson is not connected.
Okay. So, Ms. Boyd, is that everybody that has signed up to speak?
That's everyone we have on the list, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman. We've been through our list of those who signed pre-registered. So, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody for participating in this virtual hearing. Thank you all for your testimony and all the parties that have, commissioners that are here from all around out there. We appreciate the hard work the staff's done to pull this together. And if there are no more folks to testify, we are adjourned. Thank you.